All right, guys, welcome into Dwayne's Book Club. Phenomenal day to you. Phenomenal day. I'm so excited to be here with you, gentlemen. How's everybody doing, man? It's fine. Phenomenal Saturday. Yep. Tap on in. Tap on in. We truly appreciate it. Listen, I want to encourage you, man. Share the feed, tag a friend, like the page. We truly appreciate it. Dwayne's Book Club is simply designed to empower men, man. You know, it's my aim and my heart's desire to impact the lives of 1 million men. And if I can be honest, guys, I can't do it without you. And so I need your help in this effort by sharing the content, participating in some of the events. We greatly appreciate it. We love having you here, subscribing to the podcast. Come check out and see what we're doing, man. We kind of doing some things different now. We're excited about how God is moving in this time and in this season. And I think that's what really important. And Dwayne's Book Club simply got started because I just remember feeling stuck. I remember trying to find direction. I knew I needed clarity and I just didn't know what. I didn't know what else to do, man. After running in the house and writing these 3 words down, vision, plan, execute, what was the next thing to do? And, the next thing for me, man, what I did was I picked up a book. That's what I did. I picked up a book. And one of the first books I read was by Mark Batterson, Chase the Lion. Hands down, a phenomenal book. I love this book. I still use it in my coaching or when I'm doing group trainings and things. I still use this particular book because it really set the tone for me. And there's so much power in reading, right? There's so much power in understanding others' point of views. And in Mark's book and reading that book, it opened my eyes to read, to be more intentional about my growth, what it was going to take to grow. And I know, for some of us, reading and it's not fun. No, that's the last thing I want to be doing, right? And today we got audiobooks. Today we can listen to podcasts. But there's something special to me about holding, holding a book in your hand. There's something special to you, boy, when it comes to holding a book in your hand and flipping through the pages, grabbing you a highlighter and highlighting some things that truly stand out for you and taking note. That's what Mark's Batterson book did for me. It showed me perspective from one person point of view and how it reflects or resonates with me. It helped me gain some clarity. It also showed me that there's some possibilities for my life. Yeah, I can be more hopeful. Yeah, I can be more hopeful. And from there, I haven't stopped reading, man. I got so many books on a bookshelf. My wife and in crates, and me say it that way. My wife like, bruh, if you bring another book in this house, if you bring another book in this house, now I got digital books, of course. Those are great, but they don't give me the same texture and feel when I have a actual book in my hand. Anybody just love reading books? If you love reading books, in the chat, man, drop in the chat. Yep, you know what? You down my lane. If you don't enjoy reading books, drop a 2 in the chat. You know what? No, that's not for me, bro. I'm not interested. And so here's a strategy I picked up along the way to help me read to be more efficient in reading books. Oftentimes, when I pick up a book, I like to read the table of contents and I like to read the back of the book. And from there, I identify a few chapters in the book that really stand out to me, things that really speak to me. I highlight them and then I go and I read the introduction. I read the introduction. Now, of course, in any book, I would encourage you always read the first chapter. Always read the right first. You can't go deep dive a book and you ain't read the first chapter. At least read the first chapter, right? And from there, man, find a few chapters that may speak to you, and go back and read those. That strategy is what I'm using here in Dwayne's book club, because I understand, one, the power of reading, and secondly, I understand that everybody, this ain't everybody forte. This ain't their cup of tea, right? But if you know what, if I can, we can connect somewhere down the line with something that resonates with you, well, then guess what you've done? You've read. I don't care if you read one chapter in a book. I don't care if you read the newspaper, or article clipping, a social. I won't say it. We read them social media. That's a waste of time. But there's some social, economic, or professional development articles out there. Read them. Take your time and read them, man. They take 5 minutes to read. That is a stepping stone to improving your life, that can very well be impactful. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox about that. I just want to encourage you. This is why I do what I do, man. And I simply love what I'm doing. And Dwayne's Book Club is really a passion project, stemming from Oprah herself. Oprah used to have the Oprah Book Club, and everybody would go ham over the Oprah Book Club. Well, you know what? I figure, because it was a great avenue or a great approach in my life. Well, I want to share. I want to share what worked for me, and hope that it works for you. Is that good? So here we picking up in Deion Sanders' book, Coach Prime's book, Elevate and Dominate. We are on session 3, week 3. We're gonna pick up in chapter 6, mastering the 3 W's: want, work, and win. I love this. It's here. Prime, in his book is, gotcha. Um, Prime in his book, he's defining the importance of. Hold on, rephrase. Coach Prime is providing valuable insight to help people. I like to say men, because my focus is men. To help people, or men who are on their journey towards personal development and success. And this chapter, mastering the 3 W's: want, work, and win. Man, it is phenomenal. Prime discusses how to understand and master these 3 elements, which can lead to more fulfillment and a successful lifestyle. So we're going to deep dive right into this. Some points that really stood out for me was one, when Prime talks about wants. The building blocks. The building blocks. The 3 W's are the building blocks. They are the roadmap to wherever you want to go. Think about it. Want. Have you clarified your want? Is what I want to ask you. He talks greatly about something I really love and take deeply to heart, when he talks about this. But before we get into this, yeah, Coach Prime says that wants must be your heart's desires. Yeah, these are the things that you want for you. Nobody else can want them for you. Does that make sense? You know, this is your personal heart's desire. This is that thing that you feel in your gut. This is that thing that, you know what, you prioritize above other things. Yep. Point being, someone else can't make you want what you don't want. Why? Because it's part of you, it's embedded in you, it's a heart desire. And want, when it comes to want, you have to realize that it's going to require some things from you, right? It's going to require some things from you. And the most important thing, when Coach Prime talks about this want, is that it doesn't belong to anyone else. This simply belongs to you. And it's going to require from you consistency, persistence, and the determination to bring it forth. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take consistency, determination, and persistence. I said consistency, persistence, and determination to bring it forth. And so here we go. Prime says, when you identify what you're after, it's no time to be passive. Truly believing in something you're willing to make, when you truly believe in something, the truth is you're willing to make sacrifices. What is it that you want and what sacrifices are you willing to make to go get it? Yep. And I know sometimes we at this place at these crossroads where we're just not sure about the things we want. And maybe you are very clear on the things you want. And one of the things that Prime talks about that I really love is being able to visualize what you truly want. See yourself doing the thing that you want to be doing. I'm reminded of Walt Disney when sitting inside his theme park staring off into an empty space and was asked what was he doing. He said he was envisioning a phenomenal attraction for the park. Today, that attraction became reality, and we know it as Splash Mountain. He saw Splash Mountain. He was visualizing Splash Mountain within his theme park. Yep. Martin Luther King had a dream. He dreamt that little white boys and white and black girls would be yeah, I said that right. Little white boys and little black boys would hold hands in equality for everyone, right? For equal rights for everyone. Well, listen, guys, that dream came true. Here, let me give you another dreamer or individual who visualized seeing himself do some great things. Nehemiah in the good book. You know, his passion and desire was to build, rephrase, was to rebuild the wall in Israel because it had been down for so many years, and his heart desire was to have the wall rebuilt. He dreamt it. He envisioned. He processed what it would take to bring that dream or vision to fruition. And guess what? He was able to go back to Israel and build the wall. My question for you: one, what do you see yourself doing? Yep. What are you visualizing? What do you want to make happen in your life? Yep. What do you want? What do you want? You know, I saw myself. I literally saw myself when I stepped out in this place and gained some clarity. I saw myself. I still see myself. I see myself speaking on stages. That's what I see. You know, and I admit to you guys, I'm doing the very thing I saw myself doing. Yeah. I'm just saying, what are you dreaming about? What are you envisioning? What do you want? And have you clarified what you want? Have you clarified it? And when it comes to what you want, how are you going to make it happen? Dion talks about having SMART goals, and I love this. He breaks it down his own special type of way. And SMART goals are nothing more than specific, measurable, obtainable, realistic goals, right? And Dion says when it comes to developing SMART goals, they have to be specific. It's here where you lay out your target and you lay out the target that you're trying to hit. Specific. Get specific about what you want to do. What you want out of life. He said in the SMART goal formula, goals are measurable, meaning you got to have a way to quantify the progress. Or, as they say in the modern corporate world, let's do some matrix on this thing. How are you measuring your success? How are you quantifying the progress? How are you making progress? How are you measuring progress? In the SMART goal formula, achievable. Prime says, look at your resources, take a look at your timeline, and be ambitious. You know, when it comes to resources, I mean, being achievable, is your goal real achievable? Is it? Can you make it happen? Lastly, I mean not lastly. He says make the goal in the SMART goal formula. Make the goal realistic, meaning put together an outline that shows that how you're going to achieve the goal. Have you written a goal out in so many words? Are you yep. Have you realistically sat with your thoughts and put them on paper so you can kind of paint that picture for yourself, not just mentally, but watch this physically too, because now you give yourself some some steps to follow through with. And then lastly, Prime says in the SMART goal formula, timely. Come up with a deadline. Give yourself an end time to make this thing happen, man. And I love that. This is what he's talking about. And here's the application for you men out there, man. When I read this, I just thought of this, right? Men can simply apply this by taking time to reflect on their personal and professional goals. Being able to write down these goals, creating a vision board is powerful, as well as reviewing and updating your goals. One thing I love to do, I love to do is just that the vision board piece, and writing, because things change, things shift. Things shift. We start with one way, but then as you begin to navigate that space, you have to be adaptable, right? And so being able to write it down, I believe, really helps you process. So think about that. Clarify what you want. Number two point that Prime makes in chapter 6 is work. Commit to the work. I love this. Yeah, commit to the work. And where he's going here is, and he makes this point here. Your work must, when it comes to work, you must be willing to work for it and work hard. No one will do it for you. Consistency, persistence, determination all count. Yep. Nobody's going to do the work for you. If you don't put the work in, then don't you can't expect the result. You know, um, it's funny. I share this story. I'm gonna share a personal story here. While I'm on active duty, I had an opportunity to go to the promotion board, and the promotion board consists of you having military knowledge, skill set knowledge, leadership knowledge and capability, all these great things, right? And you sit in front of a panel of five senior enlisted soldiers who give you questions to answer and about military history, about your job, the whole kit and caboodle, right? And they dictate, kind of determines whether or not you should get promoted, right? This is just one element of how they you find promotion within the military service. Now, what's interesting here, I went up to the board day. They asked me a series of questions, and fellas, I got to admit, I couldn't answer a single question. Now, some of you might just say, "Well, you just was nervous." Yeah, I'm sure that might have had played a big role in it. I didn't answer these. I couldn't answer a single question from not of a single panel member. Now, I got to admit, these individuals really looked up to me. They knew I was capable of doing the job, but the problem was I came in ill prepared. I didn't study. I didn't put the work in, right? And so when they asked these simple questions, I couldn't answer it. And it's funny that when you come ill prepared, you lack the confidence, right, to show up for yourself. You lack the confidence to show up for yourself, and therefore you don't you. It doesn't seem like you really want it, right? And when it comes to work, what Prime is talking about here is that you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get the result that you want. And at the end of the day, when I look at going to the promotion board back way back when, I didn't put in the work to go get the result I want. Here is something funny. After I finished the promotion board, and of course I failed, here is what they shared with me. Every question that they asked me, were the answer was on the board behind each individual. It was on a whiteboard behind each individual. So someone asked me a question, and the answer was directly behind them. I just want to talk to you not when you're not prepared. When being ill prepared means that it's going to minimize your confidence. It's going to minimize your clarity. Yep. It's gonna minimize your performance. Ready? And in some cases, for me, it shut everything down that I wasn't even keenly aware that the answers that they asked me were directly behind them. Oh, what's the kind of work are you willing to put in to get the result that you want? Are you willing to stay up to midnight? Are you willing to burn the midnight oil to get what you want? Are you willing to get up a few hours earlier to invest in yourself? Are you willing to connect with a coach or a coaching community to grow yourself? Are you willing to go back to school, not at the right time, but now? Think about it. What are you willing to do? To get the results you want, it's going to require you to be consistent, persistent, and determined. Is that good? So here's the application. Here's the application. Men can cultivate a winning mindset by surrounding themselves by positive influences such as mentors, supportive peers, and motivational content. Practicing gratitude and mindfulness and visualization techniques can also enhance mental resiliency. When faced with obstacles, view them as opportunities for growth rather than setbacks. And this here will reinforce a winning. Oh, I read the wrong. Winning attitude. No, that was for winning. Here is. I just realized I read the wrong one. Application. Application for work. Men can commit to work by developing a routine. Gosh, that's better. I don't know how did I think. Men can commit to work by developing a routine that includes daily habits geared towards their goals. That might include setting aside specific times to develop your skill set. It might include networking, connecting with other like-minded individuals. It just might mean you improve your skill set and improve the activities throughout the day. Like pick up a book and read. Tracking your progress is equally important. Kind of got to get a glean for where you are. Here is something else that he pointed out that I really love before I move on. And that is, Prime says, you must know the task you must know the task that will have the greatest impact instead of putting all your time in low priority assignments. This is so powerful and this resonates so well with me, particularly as a business owner and entrepreneur. It's so easy to put away the things that seem the most difficult, the things I don't know how to do, the things I'm not sure what to do, and focus on those little things. And what happens at the end of the day, you might get a lot of little things done, but they don't push the needle in getting the greatest impact. Think about that. What will give you the greatest impact in your life so you can get the results that you want? What should you be, what should you give, what should you give your focus to? What should you give your focus to so you can get the best results? And if we focus on things that don't add real value, how do we expect to get the value out of what we truly want? Here's an example of this. I got these young adults in the house, and everybody want to drive. Everybody eager to get their driver's license. They eager to get behind the wheel of the car, right? But their focus isn't on driving. It's more their focus is wherever they are now, because where your focus goes, your energy goes. What do I mean by that? Well, if my greatest impact was for me to practice driving and so I can get my driver's license, well, I think I would be focusing and making focusing on driving so I can make the impact that I want to make. Does that make sense? And so when it came to or think about it this way, in relationships, what's the relationship that you probably want to form the most, and how can you make the great how can you give focus to it to get the impact, so it can get the greatest impact, so it can be the greatest impact. Here is something I love. It says that 20-80 rule, right? Or the 80-20 rule, however you say it, right? It says 20% of where your focus goes gets you 80% of the results. Yeah. I don't know about you, and I got it. Everybody's not result focused, or well, we'll get there when we get there type of attitude. And Prime says, hey, listen, you got to be persistent. You got to be consistent. You have to be determined. And if you're going to be those three things, that means that you have to give focus to what you really want out of life. You're gonna where can you make the greatest impact so you can get the greatest result in your life? I want you to think about that when it comes to work. Lastly, we're gonna transition as we get ready to close this thing out. Focusing on a winning mindset. Really at the end of the day, it's about having a winning mindset. And Prime says this: if you do the work, you will win. So yeah. If you do the work, you will win. I love this because he begins to start talking here about work. He starts talking about working in the off season. He started talking about in the off season and gosh, why am I fumbling? I'm looking right at the words. He's talking about working in the off season and conditioning. He's talking about spring ball. He's talking about the individual work that one has to do, right? He's talking about summer practices. He's sharing this from a point of view of a football player's perspective. You know, I simply remember playing high school ball, and when spring camp came, everybody showed up for excited. We excited. We it's the 2-a-day practice. We come in, everybody got the cleats around their neck or around their shoulders. Y'all remember how they used to do it, right? Some of us got them on our feet because we got them the Nike joints. Right? And we stumping and we got to go do the physicals. We got to, we doing all the little tests, measurements, making sure that we healthy enough to play the game. And at the y'all remember that? This is what I remember. And then after we would do that, you would have to go run. We would go run 4 miles, conditioning, right? This was that this was that time of year when we coming into the spring camp. We want to play ball, and we want to show up a certain kind of way, right? But when it came to running that 4 mile, everybody wasn't feeling them 4 miles. I know your boy wasn't feeling them 4 miles. And it made me think when he shared here about what are you doing the off-season conditioning? What are you doing in the off-season? There's some things that you want to do, and you're navigating this space. You're visualizing, you're dreaming. You may be even charting the plan, right? But what's some of the work that you're doing that can lead you into where you want to go? Mm-hmm. What are you doing in the off season? What's happening at spring camp? How are you conditioning yourself? I remember when we had to run them 4 miles, your boy was in no condition to run them 4 miles. And maybe that's why I hated it so much. And I'm pretty sure I wasn't the only one. But guess what? If you had came prepared, you knew this football season was coming. You knew this is what you wanted to do, right? Hold on. You want to go back to school. You know you want to start that business. What are some of the preconditioning steps that you're taking so you can go get the result that you want? What is it? Are you sitting around still sleeping? Are you are you still fumbling on your phone? Listen, this is what he's talking about. The winning result means that, hey, you got to be mindful that, hey, I need to get in the game even in the off season. I need to be in the game even during spring ball. I need to be in the game individually. Even if nobody else is doing it, I need to be doing it. How are you showing up for yourself? How do you plan to win if you don't show up for yourself, even in the off season? Even in the off season. So I know I read this application already, but I'm going to read it again for you. See, the application for having a winning mindset means that men can cultivate their winning mindset by surrounding themselves by positive influences. Yep. Who are you surrounded around? Yep. You can gravitate to some mentors, right? Who are your mentors? Who are your supportive groups? What content, what motivational content, what inspirational content, what personal development content, what leadership content are you engaging in right now? Yep. How are you practicing great gratitude? Are you grateful for where you are? Are you practicing mindfulness? Are you mindful of where you are right now and identifying areas that you may need to grow in? Are you still visualizing the dream? Are you dreaming? Don't stop dreaming because you work in it. Every day I dream. Every day I envision myself doing what I do. So develop these techniques can simply enhance your mental resiliency. What do I mean by that? Listen, we get so many negative thoughts that we have to strengthen our minds by getting into a winning mindset, even in the off season. We got to be, every day, we should be doing something to get stronger mentally so we can go when the times get tough. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to throw the towel in. I can't tell you how many times I just wanted to quit. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to close the book. I can't tell you how many times I just wanted to say F it. But you know what? Because of the mental resiliency, because of the strengthening, because of the environments that I'm in, because of the connections that I make, because of the work that I do in the off season, it makes it difficult to say F it. And I push through because I want to develop a winning mindset. See, when you're faced with the obstacles, you're going to view them as opportunities and growth rather than setbacks. And you reinforce a winning attitude. That's what I want to close with, guys. Listen, man, I hope this was good. Listen, I want to encourage you, clarify what you want, commit to the necessary work, and maintain a winning mindset. This is what is going to help you be effective. This is what Coach Prime is talking about in Chapter 6 when it comes to mastering the 3 W's: wants, work, and win. To achieve the success that you want, you have to be able to, 1, and visualize what you want. 2, you're going to have to design a specific goal for yourself and work it. And then you're going to have to develop a winning mindset, even when it gets tough. That's it. Says the clock on the wall, man. Listen, if this was good, man, listen, leave me a comment in the chat. Let me know what were some of your biggest takeaways. If you read the book and you're familiar with it, let me know. Hey, put your insight on it. Put your spin on it. Let me know what you're really thinking. If you want to be part of the book club and you say, man, that was pretty good. Listen, we're going into session 4. We're going into session 4, so it's not too late to pick up in this great conversation in Dion's book, Elevate and Dominate. In session 4, guys, we're going to be talking iron sharpens iron. But watch this. I got a bonus one for you. I know. Yep, I got a bonus chapter we're going to pick into, and that is what's your rabbit. So session 4 is going to conclude with 2 chapters, chapters 9 and 13. invite you and welcome you to come and connect. Head over to the webpage, DwayneHRoberts.com, and sign up for Dwayne's Book Club. Realize this, gentlemen, you have everything you need to take your life to the next level. That's simply because your success is in your hands. I want you to have a phenomenal day with purpose. God bless.